Anyway, a guy that has not been disappointing this season is none other than Lamar Jackson, quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens, who this weekend broke Michael Vick's single-season rushing record. Storm, how impressive is this accomplishment?
Yeah, it's impressive. I mean, anytime you're, beating a guy like Michael Vick, who was one of the best run-pass quarterbacks in the league as well, I mean, that's always impressive. Good for Lamar. He's obviously clearly the MVP now after last week's performance. There's no touching him. That's your MVP. If you had the ticket, stand in line and just wait. People got him at like 200 to 1. Sit there and wait at Caesars or wherever, Sugar House in Philly or Rivers down in Pittsburgh, because that baby's cashing. But, yeah, kudos to him. I mean, it's great. And it's not just him that's succeeding. You look at the running game as a whole. Mark Ingram all of a sudden is playing very well. Gus Edwards, another one, is playing really well. And then you look at they have 3 tight ends that are legitimate tight ends in the NFL with Hurst, with Andrews, and then Boyle, the third guy, who's obviously probably the least productive of the 3. But yeah. And then you got Malcolm Brown over there. No. What's his first name? Hollywood Brown. What's
Hollywood
his first
Brown.
name now? Is it
Marquise.
Marquise.
Yeah.
Malcolm Marquise, Antonio Brown's cousin.
Yeah, I think it's an extremely impressive accomplishment. I'm not going to dive too into it because you hear the name Michael Vick, and that's synonymous with just like electric running ability at the quarterback position.
Madden cheat code.
Yep. And Lamar, at least statistically in this season, has eclipsed that. So just what this offense has done as a whole has been nothing short of remarkable. They're the number 1 total offense, and they're the number 1 rushing offense, and Lamar Jackson is the number 1 rusher on that offense as a quarterback. Now, what I will say is that when Mike Vick was playing in Atlanta, he was operating out of a more traditional West Coast system. Most of his rushing yards came on the fly, kind of as improvisation when his options had kind of exactly when the plays break down. And obviously, Lamar running the football is an integral part of the game plan, so it's a little differently there, but that doesn't take away from the greatness that we've seen from Lamar this year. Some people are still making the argument that Russell Wilson should be MVP, and I guess I kind of get it. That team is overachieving by so much, and he has been excellent. But you can't not give Lamar Jackson the MVP this year. Like, just watch this guy play and tell us that he does not deserve the award. You can't.
Yeah, I mean, up until last week, it could have, Lamar was still leading and Wilson was right there, but there's no chance.
I 100%
unless
agree.
Something crazy happens, which you hope doesn't. But
I 100% agree. Now, the one thing that those two teams have in common is that they both sit at the number 1 seed in their respective conferences. NFC, though, as we mentioned, is a bit deeper, a little bit more top-tier talent in it. Do you think, or what team in the AFC do you think stands the best chance at knocking off the Ravens before they get to Miami?
I think it's Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, you look at a team that could put up a lot of points. That's one of them. The defense has played a little bit better. And who did they just pick up on waiver wire?
T-Sizzle.
Who they better put under a damn lamp in a dark room and have him spill his guts out about that team and what all they love to do.
Absolutely,
I know
man. I hope he's not like
Lamar,
I hope he's not like what Eric Weddle did in LA. I'm not giving you any insider information on the Ravens. Go on and you get beat 46-3 or whatever. Yeah, 49-6, whatever.
Right. I'm leaving Suggs in there until he starts talking. Write down everything you know, young buck, or old buck, I guess at this point.
Yeah, old buck. Yeah.
I mean, I know he won't know much about the offense, but that defense. I mean, he was there for how many years?
Oh yeah, he was a staple on that defense for a decade.
And they have played well. Mahomes looked more of the Mahomes we know in the snow, which was a lot of fun. That game was a lot of fun to watch.
It was.
The running game is still a little bit of a concern, but that him and that Hill connection start picking back up again. He kind of hopes Sammy Watkins gets going, Travis Kelce, but that team could put up points in an instant.
Absolutely.
So that's my team.
Yeah, I'm with you. It does have to be the Chiefs because, for me, New England is showing that I don't think they have what it takes to maybe even get out of their first game in the playoffs. But anyway.
Might be a one and done.
Yeah, the Chiefs.
It might be a wild card team, sorry.
They really.
I digress.
No, that's fine. You can continue to interrupt me. That's fine. I don't mind.
People don't want to hear you anyway.
Might be true. Maybe they tune in just for you.
It might.
You know, that sounds likely, actually. I would bet on that. I wonder what the Vegas odds are on that. Check FanDuel for me later.
Where else can they get a guy wearing an Eagle shirt along with a Santa hat, not being afraid of being snowballed? That's all I have to say.
May I continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. So the Chiefs, they've already beaten Baltimore this year, so they've shown that they at least have the ability to take down the Ravens. Check number one. Number two, that defense does seem to be heating up at least a little bit. Spagnuolo seems to have lit a fire under their ass. And like you mentioned, they do get Terrell Suggs now, who I think is going to be integral for that team going into the postseason. However, I do still have major concerns about that run game, particularly against Baltimore.
For sure.
Like, that's been the Chiefs' struggle. That's Baltimore's strength. Doesn't quite play out. Then lastly, I at least know that Kansas City can keep up with the Baltimore offense at least closely. Like, I know those corners in Baltimore have really been starting to heat up a little bit, lock a lot of guys down, but stopping that receiving core in Kansas City is a difficult task. You look at the guys that they have, and got obviously Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, but also Mecole Hardman, Sammy Watkins, Demarcus Robinson is your fifth option, and then obviously McCoy and Williams out of the backfield serve as good receivers, so they can put up points in a hurry. So to me, they're never totally out. Now, there's two other teams that I think have a long shot. I think Houston and Buffalo are maybes, but and for totally opposite reasons. Houston because they can put up 40 if they get it going, and Buffalo because they showed that they have the potential to hold Baltimore to 3 touchdowns.